Hello everybody. This is something new that we're going to start doing. It's going to be fun and kind of crazy. But we're going to start doing a 3 to 5 minute video. And it's going to contain different tips on horse psychology, fundamentals, and a little bit about how we think. And maybe we need to change some stuff. So today what we're going to talk about, and this is the things I'm going to be working on are the things that I hear when I'm out there, and the questions that we have come in about all different kinds of problems or issues they're having with their horse. So I got Digger today, and I'm going to go over with you the start of the ride, and or the start of when you're fixing to compete. This is the part that most of us is missing, and whenever I get ready to ride, I'm always going to make sure my horse is ready mentally and physically. So let me get Digger in position here. Now any horse problem or bad behavior from a horse is from resistance. There's going to be resistance somewhere in your horse from the nose to the tail. And there's 5 areas that I always want to check. And that's the poll, the neck, the shoulders, the rib cage, and the hindquarters. Now, like I said, any resistance is going to be in one of these areas, one of these zones on the horse. So the hindquarters is the main area that we want to make sure we've got control of. If we don't have control of this, then the horse is going to control the rib cage and the shoulders and the neck. And we want to make sure that we have control of that area. Now Digger is wanting to move around here, and we'll fix that here in a second too. Now in the hindquarters, the reason we want to soften that up and get it supple is because that's where everything starts. That's where your forward motion, your trot, your lope, your canter, a buck, a rear, it all starts right here. So this is the reason why this is the area we have to control. So the first thing I'm going to do to get that softness in that area is I'm going to ask my horse to disengage. You'll also, when we start doing this disengaging, now this is going to be short, but you'll start seeing Digger standing still. So I want to step in here, and I'm going to ask Digger with my body to disengage. Now you can see that Digger knows this, but when he slows down, I'm going to twirl my rope to what? To add some energy. To add some energy. Okay, now we're going to do the other side. I'm going to get into position here. I'm going to ask with my body language first. Digger knows how to do this. Now when he stops, I'm going to add some energy. And then I'll stop twirling. As long as he's disengaging, then I'll stop twirling. Okay, now the second part. Is going to be, and I'm sure all of you know this, is lateral flexion. It's really important to have a good soft bend in this neck. Right here in the neck, it's extremely important that we have a nice soft bend right here. This is going to get our horse's attention. It's going to stretch his neck right here. It's also going to get your horse flexible. When we have a good bend and we have a good disengagement, then we're going to have a flexible horse. So we want to do that on both sides. So I'm going to bend him over here. Now, if you're having a hard time controlling your horse, he keeps constantly sticking his neck out, on a trail ride or on a barrel run, this is where you need to go. You've got resistance right here, and you could also have it in the pole, but you've got to get your horse flexible. You got to get your horse flexible here in order to get the vertical softness, which we're going to go over here in just a second. Now the other thing, we've done the hindquarters, we've done the neck, and now I'm going to see where we are on our shoulders. So what I'm doing is I'm just applying. There we go. I want him to move that shoulder over. A little bit of forward movement. When I get that forward movement, I'm going to back him up. There we go. Okay. What I've done, there's different options for this, but what I've done just then is I applied some pressure here, not much. I'm not pushing on him, I'm just touching him. And then I'm going to apply pressure here because I need the jaw, the nose to move first, and then the shoulder will follow. Now your position needs to be right here in front of the shoulder. You don't want to be way over here, because if you're over here, your horse is going to go forward. Get right in here, what we call close the door, so your horse has nowhere to go but away from you. All right, the next exercise. It's going to be leg yielding. And this exercise right here is very, very important for communication. And also at the start, it's going to help your horse really stretch those legs. But what I want to do is I want to move this front end, and then the hindquarters, and then the front end, then the hindquarters, and then there's our leg yield. You can see how, say enough, this is an area that a lot of people will ignore and not work with because it seems like it's difficult. All you do is you put your horse up against a fence, facing a fence, move the shoulders, move the hindquarters, and once he gets some rhythm going there, then go and apply your pressure in the center. Okay, that exercise right there, if you're struggling on your, say, poles or barrels, or you're struggling because your horse is going into the barrel or you can't move him off the barrel, you're having to do a lot of hand work with your reins and bit, this is because you've got a lot of resistance coming from your horse in this area right here. Here and the shoulders. So before you run, before you go on your trail ride, get out there and try this, work with this, and see if there's any resistance and fix it before you actually compete or go on your trail ride. And this is so important too, because when you get your horses in an event or on a trail ride and you get this resistance, it's going to be hard to get it out of your horse because you may be going at a faster speed and the adrenaline's going to be a lot higher. There's going to be a lot of other things out there in the environment that's going to cause your horse to get even more tense than when he started. So do these at the start, make him aware of it, get it less resistant, and then you're ready to go. Okay, the next one is right here at the pole. I'm asking my horse to give me vertical softness. This is going to be extremely important when you start teaching your horse to collect. This is an exercise that you've got to have in order to position your horse and really control your horse. And the other thing for some of you that are just starting, or maybe some of you that are just starting a horse that doesn't have a lot of trust, what I like about this exercise also is he's dropping his nose. You know, he's telling me he's really trusting me in this position, because this is not a position that a horse usually gets into when he doesn't trust somebody or something. Okay. I think that's all 5 of them: the pole, the neck, the shoulders, the rib cage, and the hindquarters. Practice these exercises. You don't, practice them at home. And so that when you go to an event, you don't have to get out there and do all of this before the event. or your destination. Same thing with a trail ride. Do these at home. And then in another 5-minute session, I'll show you how to, when you get these areas soft, I'm going to show you another exercise that you can use where you can just do it once or twice and you'll be able to see any resistance in your horse. I'd also like to tell you about a program that we've got coming out here soon within the next 2 to 3 weeks. It's going to be, we haven't really even come up with a title yet, but what it's going to be focused on is beginners, parents that have children that are just starting, and the parents, you don't have much knowledge or experience. This program is going to be perfect for that. And also the people that maybe you've been riding for 5 or 10 years, but your horse doesn't have a foundation and you don't know how to put this foundation on your horse. Right now we're calling it the Beginners Online Horsemanship course. So if you have any ideas, you might send us some ideas and we may use that title and you might get a little reward for it. So thank you very much. This was a lot of fun. Me and Digger enjoyed it, and God bless you and your horse.